All right, welcome back and welcome to lesson 2. You made it. Woohoo! All right, yay! Okay, so we now know a little bit about the piano keyboard. We know which keys are which and how to find them. So we're ready to move on to the next step of the lesson, which has to do with steps. We are going to talk about the distance between notes. This is really, really important for when we want to start playing chords. Okay, so pay close attention. In that last video, we talked about the musical alphabet. Well, anytime we go up the musical alphabet, we're going to the right, or this direction, on the piano. You'll notice that the pitches get higher. And every time that we come down the musical alphabet, or the musical ladder, we'll notice that the pitches get lower, and we're going to the left on the piano keyboard. Every time we go from one key to the very next key on the keyboard, we're moving 1/2 step. Let me show you what that looks like. Right here we have C. If we go to the very next key up on the keyboard, that will be C sharp, this black key. So we're going from the white key to the black key, and that is going to be 1/2 step from C to C sharp. Okay? And in the same way, going from C sharp to the next key up the piano keyboard, which is D, that's going to take us another 1/2 step. That'll be another 1/2 step up. So it's a 1/2 step from C to C sharp, and then another 1/2 step from C sharp to D. Here's a question for you. How many steps do you think it is from C right to D? 1/2 step from C to C sharp, 1/2 step from C sharp to D. So how many steps from C to D? If you said George Washington, I'm sorry, you're wrong. But if you said one step, you said one step? That's correct. One step from C to D. One step or one whole step. Exactly right. Okay. Now for some of you this might sound a bit confusing, and for good reason. I'm talking about the distance between keys, but when you look at the keys on the keyboard, they're right next to each other. There doesn't seem to be any physical distance at all. Well, that's a good point. What we're really measuring here is the distance between pitches or notes. This note C sharp is higher than this note C, and you can probably hear that with your ears, but how much higher? Well, 1/2 step is one of the terms that we use to measure that amount or that distance. Let's look at it one more way. Take the keys that we know, separate them, shrink the white keys down to be closer in size to the black keys, and this way it makes it easier to visualize that when we go from one key to the very next key, whether that's from a white key to a black key, from a black key to a white key, or a white key to a white key, we're always moving 1/2 step. And if we skip one key, we're going to be moving one whole step. And so we can talk about the distance between any two notes in terms of steps. So now you know what a 1/2 step is, what a whole step is. To finish off this video, how about a quiz? You love quizzes. Great, let's do it. I'm going to ask you a few questions. See if you can figure out the answer. All right, here we go. First question. In steps, what is the distance or interval between F and G? All right, F, let's find it, and G. Remember, front door, grandma's room. What's the distance in steps? Well, we have to go to this F sharp, that's a 1/2 step, then from the F sharp to the G, another 1/2 step, so one whole step from F to G. If you said one whole step, you got that right. All right, here's the second question. Again, in steps, what is the distance or interval between G sharp and A sharp? G sharp and A sharp. Okay, first you got to find those keys. Where's G sharp? We know that G is grandma's room. G sharp is 1/2 step above G. We know that A is attic, and 1/2 step above that is A sharp. So there's the G sharp and the A sharp. What's the distance? Did you answer one whole step or one step? That's correct again. All right. Question number 3, a little bit harder here. What is the distance in steps between E and F? All right, let's find E and F. E is the elephant. F is the front door from the house. What do you think? If you said 1/2 step, that is correct. There is no black key between the E and the F, so going from this white key, E, to F is going to be 1/2 step. All right, last question for you. What is the distance in steps between C and E? Let's find C and find E. count them up. If you said 2 whole steps, that's correct. So now you know everything that you need to know up until this point. You're ready for the next video, and we are so close to playing our songs. Do not stop here. Keep going, and we'll see you in the next video.